Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love is Blind UK Season 2, Episodes 9 through 11.
Listen here, I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, thank you for walking us through this season of Love is Blind UK Season 2. You did an excellent job.
Same for you.
Listen here, we are going to touch on a major point that I feel like is a discussion in episode 9. We're going to let you know who got married in episode 10. And in the reunion, we're going to get into a deep dive about that. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Now, walk us through this little altercation that happened between a couple to where they basically fighting who go pay the bill.
So this is information that we get during their hen do and stag do, which is their like bachelor, bachelorette parties. So Bartia shares that she had her first argument with Jed. He said, I'm going to get the bill tonight. She said, okay. Then when the bill came, she put her card out.
Yeah.
He was cold to her after that, and she thought that she was doing something nice. He explained to her that he felt like he wasn't heard in that moment, and her friends are telling her that she can't make him feel inferior. Like, you can't do that to him. Bartia said, we're both stubborn and we butted heads because we weren't seeing each other's point of view, and she hopes it's just one blip in the road.
One thing that I noticed in this situation was her friends was telling her, like, hey, like, why you do that, basically?
Yeah.
And then her response was a we.
Yes.
It wasn't I'm stubborn. I don't like to listen. And the thing about it is, when he was explaining his point of view in his bachelor party, he was like, look, usually whenever we go out, she pay, I pay, and things like that. But this one time, he said this one time, I wanted to treat everybody. I wanted to pay for it and things like that because it's just something that he wanted to do. I just want to know, why did she make an argument out of something that did not have to be an argument? And if you remember when I forgot who parent was meeting who and things like that, but they asked them, this couple specifically, hey, did y'all argue yet? Do y'all know how to argue? It just comes off as if she made an issue out of no issue. What is your thought from this altercation, I guess?
Yeah, I think that Bartia, she introduced us, letting us know that she's used to being independent.
Yeah.
She comes from a family to where the women were told pretty much to stay in a certain place.
Yeah.
In a culture that, made them feel that way. And so she is totally opposite of that. She wants to have her independence and her freedom to do as she pleases. I think that Bartia has gone from a place of doing and moving in your independence to being defiant and rebellious, and not necessarily against like her husband, even though she's doing it against her husband. I think it's to men in the patriarchy.
Okay.
And I think that is like affecting her romantic relationships, because this man has been kind to you, gotten you flowers, offered to treat you in so many different ways, and pretty much like every step of the way you were resisting his support and his care and his love. And so I think that she has something really deeply ingrained into her to where she cannot let that wall down. She cannot allow him to do for her. And I think that it's okay if you are an independent person, within a relationship. I think you have to learn how to be like interdependent, because you can't just move around the world as if you don't have a partner and you have no one to think about. But I think that Bartia, it's become a point of defiance, because what do you mean you agreed to saying it's okay, and then when the moment happens, you pull your card out? Yeah. It's like you want to fight. You want to fight. For what purpose though?
Yeah. You hit so many points. Let me show some sympathy and empathy to how your culture may have perceived marriage for you. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
To where it's, y'all gonna be in a servitude type of position. You get what I'm saying? Forever. You get what I'm saying? To where you're not really serving side by side with your husband, kind of in a way you're serving your husband. You get what I'm saying? So let me show a little sympathy and empathy to that, right? But my thing about it is, that's the whole point of having these conversations in the pods.
Yeah.
That we can actually communicate, and I can communicate to you, this is why I am the way I am. And in some ways you can help me, and also kind of stop, or kind of, let's get the boogeyman out the closet. Besides me actually keeping this fear inside, this is my fear. And I can give you the opportunity to actually affirm that you won't be that. You get what I'm saying? Blair, you are a woman. right?
I am.
And if I was to say, Blair, you're a woman, prove it. You'd be like,
I would prove it to you, not to everybody.
Prove it to us. right? And my thing is, you are who you are, but the minute that you get in the battle of I gotta prove it all the time, then that's when it becomes defiance, and it becomes defiant. It becomes rebellious, right?
Like a teenager.
Yes,
a way.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it's like him paying for your meal or for the meal for everybody does not take away the fact that you are still an independent woman.
And it's as though for her, it feels like it does. It's like it's stripping her of something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just because Blair wants to prove it to me privately that she's a woman, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like that, me saying prove it doesn't take away the fact that she's a woman. She don't have to prove it every day and things like that. So that's why I'm like, are you confident enough in your independence, or do you always gotta basically pull it out as if it's like basically that credit card you try to pull out to pay for your meal? You get what I'm saying? And it was discouraging to see, because I'm like, okay, this is a situation, and I felt like, in my opinion, especially if we go to the next episode, that this has kind of bled into an overall reason why we got to what we got when it came to them.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, you know what? This is a reason. This is an opportunity for y'all to have a disagreement, an argument, and see how y'all go about that. But she said, we're both stubborn and things like that. And I'm like, no, speak for you.
But I think what also got me with her perspective is that she was hoping it was just a blip in the road, but she was not hearing his point.
Not at all.
Of the fact that you didn't hear me or respect what I said in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like it totally went over your head. And for her saying it was a blip, well, you don't actually know what the real problem is in order for it not to happen again.
I'm about to say something controversial, and hopefully I'm proven wrong. I hope she's not taking her independence as an excuse to just flip the basically, you know what, I have the power and now you're in the servitude position. Because there's a way for you to keep your independence without making someone feel inferior.
Right. Absolutely.
So I here's the thing. Do you want independence in the sense of equality, or do you want to be the one that's in full power?
Exactly.
And it seems like she don't really know the difference. She's blurring the lines between the two. And she feels like the only way that I can be equal is to actually
be above you
instead of actually being next to you. And that's why I'm like, for you to see it as a blip in the road, but he may see it as a real issue. That's a way that, hey, you know what? A lot of people maybe in your culture, a lot of women in your culture may have been silenced in that way. And now you're silencing him.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Let's go to the weddings, because guess what? We don't care about the wedding dresses and things of that nature. Not really a lot of stuff happened. Let's get into the weddings.
So we get to episode 10. Yeah. We're at the altar, and Barta vows to do all those things, as far as being there for him and all that type of stuff, at a time when they're both ready, and she doesn't think they're ready today, and she is hoping that it's not the end of their relationship. He told her he loved her before she ended up walking off. Yeah. So he then goes to talk to her, and she's saying that she doesn't want this to end. She loves him with all her heart, and he says 99% of it. Yeah. Because of their disagreement, she feels like there's more work they need to do, and she doesn't want to end up getting divorced. Jed's parents are actually consoling her parents. He's in shock, and she says the thing that rubs me the wrong way a lot of the time. Yeah. I chose myself.
Yeah, that's that toxic independence right there. Like, the whole point of Love is Blind is not for you to not choose yourself.
And the point that I make in that is I think there are real situations to where you should choose yourself. I think Kisha ended up choosing herself, and that was a great way. Thank goodness. And that was a great thing that she did. But Barta, I don't think this was a matter of choosing yourself. Yeah. I think that if you choose to go into a relationship with somebody and to build a life and to build a marriage with someone, that's not choosing yourself.
Yeah.
That is choosing to go into a partnership with all the great qualities that you have and bringing all the experience of everything in life that you've learned and meshing it into something beautiful, into a new life, into a new family, that you can carry on your legacy with. So I just hate the use of the choosing myself verbiage when nobody is doing anything to you, as if you were choosing a bad option. you know. And I feel like, yes, I think that Barta needs to be single. I think that she's not in a headspace to where she's willing to compromise, to where she's willing to understand another person's point of view, and to let up some of that forced alpha woman hear me roar type of situation. You can be all, let me put it to you all like this.
Okay, help me.
In no way am I saying we're the epitome of relationships or anything like that.
Who?
Me and you.
Oh. I'm about to say, okay.
But one thing that I appreciate that works for us is that we both have roles and responsibilities in our marriage and in our lives. And you trust me to get my things done, and I trust you to get your stuff done. If I was totally dependent on you and underneath you, and you had to micromanage me, that wouldn't be fun for anybody.
No, it wouldn't.
So I think there's strength in being a woman who is independent or interdependent and can move about life and get things done and handle your business, but it doesn't take anything away from you by being in partnership at the same time. You're not less of that person. You actually bring value into the relationship and into what you guys can build as a future. So
yeah, my issue is this, right? Because this is Love is Blind, and you're getting married so quick, no one is a complete project by the time everybody gets to the altar.
Right.
So I'm not going to talk about her as if Jed is the perfect husband. No. You get what I'm saying? He needs work. Work needs to be done with him the same way as work needs to be done for all these people, because at the end of the day, we're getting married at first sight. You get what I'm saying? Love is blind, I guess, right? My issue with her is, what's the point of signing up for a show like this if you're not going to fully submit to the process? You get what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, truth be told, you wanted a husband, the way it sounds like, who's basically a simp in the way that we would call it here in the States, right? Someone that would basically just follow along with you, that you could control. It makes you feel safe. You don't have to feel challenged. You don't have to change. Here's the thing about it. In a relationship, both of y'all have to change. So, like, you don't want to change. You don't want to be stretched. You don't want to be challenged in that way. So it just, while we was watching it live and things like that, when the episodes came out, I said, Blair, watch, she's going to say no, because that is the ultimate power move.
And that's the thing, that power play. And that is something that happens in relationships, especially sometimes at the beginning when you guys are trying to learn your groove. But she couldn't see beyond herself.
No,
she really couldn't.
So, and this is how I know it's a power play, because she's never speaking as independent as she is. She's never speaking independently of herself. She said, we need work. We are stubborn.
Right.
And I'm just like, how about you talk about your issues? Because you're the one saying no. We didn't even get to his answer and things of that nature. So I knew she was going to do it, because as toxic as it may be, the ultimate power move, the ultimate alpha male move is to actually reject you in front of people. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I knew she was going to use that stage to tell him no.
Yeah.
You know?
So Srover and Cal both say I do.
Okay.
Kieran and Megan say I do.
Okay.
Ashley and Billy say I do. That was a shock to me.
I
thought Billy was going to say no.
And listen here, at this point, I was wrong.
So,
or was I? You know what I mean?
So we move on to the reunion, episode 11, and they started off in a photo booth with a curtain, which I thought was pretty funny how they did that.
It was pretty cool.
So we get to Cal and Srover. We see videos of them traveling, enjoying married life. And we learn 3 months after the wedding, he walked away.
What?
She integrated him into her life. They enjoyed Christmas together with her family. In January, he said very coldly, it's over. He gave her 3 reasons. There's no spark. We're very different. And she is more emotional and affectionate than him.
Oh, okay. One thing that I thought was funny was when they asked, so how's the married life? Yeah. And she said, what married life? And then one of the reasons that he gave, because I thought they was going to say no to, but they said yes at the altar, but there's no marriage. One reason that he gave her was that we're just different people.
Like they haven't been different people this whole time.
What do you mean you're different people? You mean like potentially 2 different people who, that don't get along, based on the history of the countries and things of that nature. Like what do you mean different people? And to me, it just proves that maybe little bro knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Talk about there's no spark. Well, this is Love is Blind. You're not really, my whole thing is this, right? At the end of the day, hindsight is 20/20, and I can look back on those other episodes and be like, you know what? Maybe he was nervous when he met her family because maybe there wasn't no spark then. Maybe that's why he was nervous and he couldn't find the words to say, because
I don't know.
It just, because I knew when he first came out the pod, I remember saying this guy didn't look happy to see her. He looked kind of nervous, kind of like off put when he saw her, like kind of like.
Yeah, and I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw it when as a guy. Maybe it is what it is. But it's like, oh no, you was a menace to this woman. You ain't give her no reason. You ain't give her no chance for her to basically correct herself and things of that nature. That's what we said, that when you show up at the altar, y'all not showing up as complete projects. Y'all actually coming in without even starting the project because y'all get married so fast. But even with him sitting there, it did come off as if it's like he was just cold from the whole experience altogether. As if he was like, you know what, like, yeah, it happened. I don't care.
So they're asking him what went wrong.
Yeah.
And Cal said nothing went wrong. She was a good wife. They just weren't right for each other. He said that they had some disagreements on their honeymoon in October, and he paid for a 5-star honeymoon off his own back. Okay.
What the hell that mean?
Y'all was married, and I'm sure you offered to do it. So why are you saying it like it's a bad thing?
Okay.
He said that they fell off because of physical and emotional intimacy. Basically, she wanted more than he could give. Srover said that she's been the same person this whole time, and he also apologizes to her mother for letting the family down.
Yeah.
Mom says that it's been heartbreaking watching her daughter be led down a path that wasn't genuine, and he blindsided her. He knows he may have come across cold. They could have discussed things, but he felt like that would have just made things more drawn out.
What you mean?
Like, you actually have to work in your relationship.
Yeah, basically, he's like, I don't want to be with her.
He's like, I don't want to do any work. I just don't want to be in it anymore.
Yeah.
She kept asking him if there were any issues that they could talk about and work through, and he kept telling her no. So the only time she knew there really was a problem was when he was ending things.
Yeah.
Cal said maybe he couldn't do a long-term commitment. So his brother's there, and his brother said, look, I think Cal went into this genuinely, but he wanted basically what he saw his brothers had as far as long-term committed relationships, but he just couldn't do it. If he couldn't do it with Srover, then he couldn't do it with anybody. And I think that Cal,
that's crazy.
I think through this experience, Cal has learned that he doesn't want a long-term relationship, which is crazy to put her through this in order for him to come to that understanding, because brother already knew. He was just like, you can't do long-term relationships. I don't know why you're marrying this girl.
And here's the thing, Blair. If the brother knew, you know who else knew? Cal knew.
He for sure.
And this is the thing that gets me. Weren't you the main guy questioning Katisha's decision because she chose the wrong guy?
Talking about that they were the strongest couple.
But you knew that you was the wrong guy for your own relationship. But yet you want to question Katisha's relationship. Now, here's the thing. Right message, wrong messenger.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But that's the whole thing about it. And that just lets me know, if you want to read between the lines and things of that nature, he's looking at his brothers and probably thinking like, you know what, they have a relationship, a marriage, maybe I need to get married. And now he's looking at the other couples of the pod and he's calling his couple the best couple. Maybe he's just competitive.
Or like comparison minded. I think that's just the worst thing to be, because you can't be like anybody else. You can't have what anybody has. Even if you're both married, your marriages are going to be different.
Yeah.
So I just think that that's just a terrible headspace to be in, because you have to move according to you and what works for you. And I truly believe that, yes, he went into this, with genuine intentions and wanting a marriage and wanting, for this to be what it is. But he was never prepared to do the work to have a long-term relationship.
Not even close.
No. So we move on to Bartia and Jed.
Okay.
She saw signs that he wasn't the type of husband that she wanted, and that's why she said no at the altar.
Signs such as what? Paying the bill?
She's not very clear.
No,
I feel like throughout this reunion,
this whole conversation is not to be clear. Make sure y'all follow along, guys.
So Jed would have said I do, but he still wasn't 100% at the altar.
Okay.
They did try dating after. She ended up moving in, drove his car, went on date nights, and they were still butting heads. Barta thinks that she was the only person trying because she felt guilty, and that's why she was putting forth all that effort. She did more than she should have, and maybe he just needed space. She kept the ring on to show him that she still wanted to make this work.
Why?
I thought that was really silly because I'm just like, yeah, y'all aren't engaged.
So let me get this straight. So off top, your reason here is different than the reason that you gave at the altar, right? As she's talking about, basically her motivation right here, what she's saying from the reunion, is guilt. Basically, like she felt bad, and basically, you know what? I'm just gonna we all know that gray area when you're in a relationship and y'all break up, but y'all kind of still messing around,
trying to see.
Yeah. So this right here is not even. It don't even sound like her whole intention. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That she was like, you know what? I want us to still get to that destination of marriage. It just seemed like her thing is like, you know what? I feel bad, so I'm going to use that guilt to motivate me to just basically just try. You get what I'm saying? But not really like...
She didn't have the want to.
Not like an end goal for it, though. Right. You know what I'm saying? Basically, keep trying until she don't feel guilty no more.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, nothing was really going to be fixed or work with Barta because she doesn't see her fault, or at least she won't admit her fault in the downfall of the relationship. She's saying that he wasn't the type of husband she wanted.
What did that mean?
And I'm just like, so what type of husband do you want?
Yeah.
And I think Chris is right. You want the husband that's going to shut up and you can tell them what to do and where to go with it. So Barta said that they had this incident. Jed asked her to remove the ring because his ex-girlfriend was in the room.
Okay.
Then she stopped wearing it, and then he got upset when she took it off, but she did it because he asked her to. So we actually get into the real story.
Because on the surface, I was like, this story sounds... It's a lot of holes in this story. Like, I don't know what.
Yes.
But go ahead, Blair.
Jed explains that he wanted her to basically spin the diamond around to not cause a big situation at the gym. And he planned to finish the conversation at home as to why he needed her to do that.
Now, stop right there. That right there, Jed, I'm not giving you no bail out of jail for that.
Yeah, I think that's wild too.
Cause I'm like, okay, let's say that she was actually married to you, you gonna tell her to spin the ring?
Yeah.
Okay, for one, it's weird that she's still wearing the ring, but guess what? She wore it, right? And now that she actually get to wear it, she don't get the freedom to wear it however she wants to wear it. Now she got to spin the ring.
But that's another thing to where I'm thinking that maybe he didn't want her to wear the ring, and this is another defiant moment of hers.
Well, why?
If I'm gonna wear it.
I don't
because
know,
I'm doing this for you.
I don't know, but
everything doesn't make sense when it comes to that.
It doesn't make sense, but let's keep trying to figure it out.
So Barta said that, but when they got back home, he didn't bring it up. She was the one who brought it up. He made her think that there were guys there that he knew and basically didn't want the cat to be let out the bag. I don't know if the show hadn't finished filming yet or whatever the case may be, of like knowing where they stood in their relationship, which I feel like that does make sense. But apparently it was because his ex was at the gym.
Yeah.
So she decided to remove the ring 2 days later when they were going to meet up with the pod squad and everybody to hang out. He was upset because she didn't communicate with him before she made the decision that she was going to stop wearing the ring.
Yeah.
We learned that all of this happened within a 2-week time frame.
Wow.
And then she moved to Dubai.
Yeah, it was something about she went to Dubai and she's been there ever since, and I'm just like, so at what point, like, where, like, such a move is not it's not a small move. Like, were you always gonna go, like, the freedom to just get up and go? Were you staying with Jed those weeks because you already lived in Dubai? You already had plans? Like,
I'm about to say, did you have your apartment? Like, you just needed a little,
just a little
time,
just a little gap.
Window.
You know what I mean? It just comes off this. Here's the thing about it. They kept asking them, "Hey, is this something that y'all want to say to each other?" And Jed was like, "No." Like
he's like, "I wish her the best."
Like we haven't talked. Here's the thing about it, right?
And she said, you know, essentially, I wish him the worst.
Yeah.
In so many words.
Like, here's the thing about it, right? As perfect as y'all may believe I am, right? Or good looking as y'all believe that I am and things like that. I was not a complete project when I got married, right? Forget married, dating. You know what I mean? Me and Blair been together for a decade and things of that nature. So I would think that if you're going to sign up for a show like this, that there already have to be some type of give to, you know what, there may be a lot of work that I have to do in this relationship. At the end of the day, me and Blair can give our analysis of this couple. The truth of the matter is she did not want to be married.
No. And
he did not want to be married. You get what I'm saying?
I think he did.
Maybe, but even then, the spinning of the ring got me spinning. You get what I'm saying? Like that's weird to me.
I think that is weird.
So like I understand, because I actually have no problem with him saying, hey, listen, I wasn't 100% at the altar, but I was willing to. I think everybody should feel that way when they're doing a show like this. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't control the optics. So it just came off as if like they both I always believe in a relationship, especially in an argument, someone has to be the diffuser. Someone has to basically level the playing field of basically not so much of giving up their position, but not matching energy. I don't believe in matching energy with my partner, right? Because if Blair's up here, she's not an enemy. So I'm not going to meet her there. Or if I'm up here, I don't want her to meet me up there either, because we're not enemies. We're actually a couple.
Trying to work through an issue.
So my thing is, they are meeting stubbornness with stubbornness.
Yeah.
No one is trying to meet with understanding. No one's trying to meet with some type of plan. No one's not trying to meet with some type of compromise. It just seems like you're this way. You're not the husband that I want to be, or you're not the husband that I want to be with, and things like that, without actually some type of like, you know what? Is there a chance you can be the husband that like I want to be with, and actually let there be a compromise? That's why that whole like me and him was talking after the fact, that was guilt. That wasn't because you actually wanted to try and give yourself an equal chance to potentially be married at the end of all of this. Because at the end of the day, at the reunion, we already knew y'all wasn't going to be married, but y'all can still be in a relationship, but y'all can't even do that.
Yeah.
It just comes off as if nobody wanted to try, really.
So we move on to Ashley and Billy. They're not together.
Oh.
He didn't reassure her when they left the experiment. They went into date mode instead of marriage mode.
Okay.
He promised to take care of her, and he under-delivered.
Yes, he did.
Billy said that he struggled with transitioning into reality, and he felt himself becoming disconnected.
Yeah.
He became proud of her for being cabin crew because she did introduce him to what it was like as far as her career.
Okay.
And Billy thinks that he is adaptable, but he is going to go back to his routine. Ashley says that Christmas and New Year's happened. Her friends and family said that he was cold to her. On January 1st, they had a conversation, and he had negative feelings about the marriage. Ashley thinks he should have said no on that day if it was going to turn out this way. Billy explains he said yes because he was going to take a chance on love, and he didn't want to divorce again. He apologizes for not being the man that he promised her. Ashley says that he has to be deployed for 3 months, and she never had an issue with him being away, and she wanted someone who was proud of her and her amazing career. He wanted them to live in the Midlands. She didn't want to, and he thinks he went above and beyond for her in a lot of different ways. He tries to say that they were both pulling away, and Ashley said, well, he ended the marriage, so you need to take accountability on the fact that you ended things. We learned that Cal and Billy leaned on each other when deciding to end their marriage. They had similar language in the breakup, the no spark, no connection thing, and the ladies think that they were egging each other on. The guys deny that they were influenced by each other because, you know, we men, we strong, we men.
Hear me roar. Right. Can I go first on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if y'all go back to the first episodes or the first couple of episodes, you will actually see a Billy thumbnail to where he talks about how his love fizzled out in his relationships, even his last marriage, right? Yeah. And here's the thing about it. I'm about to criticize Ashley. A lot of people don't like when I criticize the women on the show because they feel like I'm like, you know, anti-women, and that I'm pro-man, that they only hear me criticizing women. They don't hear me criticizing Billy or Javin or Kyle or anything like that. So any criticism is like a megaphone. But I'm going to criticize Ashley for this reason and this reason alone. Ashley, I want to applaud your willingness to want to be married, because that's what we need for shows like this. But I am going to stop my applause and say, but you did the process wrong. The whole process of being behind a wall is that you actually get to listen what the other person is saying. And I understand that you want to put the power in his hand and saying he should have said no at the altar. But at the end of the day, you are powerful too. Yeah. And you heard him say the love fizzled out with his last relationships, and you did not dig deep into that. You heard him talk about how he have a problem with your career, and you wanted to bend like a pretzel and say, I ain't gotta be that. You know what?
Even though it's something you're so
something
proud
that
of.
You're so proud of. You heard him do all these things and have all these reasons why I feel like you should have questioned him. you're questioning him. You could have connected with somebody else, maybe not. But the whole point is, before we put the accountability on him saying no, because he should have said no, because he knew that his love fizzles out and things of that nature. Ashley, you had all the time and all the signs, in my opinion, to actually dig deeper.
And this is where I agree and disagree with you.
Help me.
So I think that within the pause, with the conversations they were having, I think that probably would have been the best time for Ashley to try to get that information and to really say no, because of how hesitant he was and how much bending she was having to do to even get a proposal. But once he agreed to being understanding of her career and trying to work this thing out,
now he's lying.
Now he's kind of like, I'm not going to say he outright deceived her, but he wasn't honest. How do I put it? He in order for the proposal to happen, he told her that he was willing to work with her when it came to the career stuff.
Okay.
During the proposal, he started bringing up the fact that the job stuff kind of maybe is still an issue. But because they both agree that it's something that they would, basically an issue that they would work through, I think that her believing what he said, that it makes sense for her to say yes, because no relationship's going to be perfect. There's going to be things and situations that you guys are going to have to compromise and work on. And if they both had the willingness to work together, then I think that it really could have been something. But it seemed like Billy got to a point 3 months later, a day before Cal, to where he decided that he was done working on the relationship. And I think that Ashley, even as frustrated with what happened, I think she was more frustrated that he had no fight in him. You know, because of the whole fizzled out situation. It takes effort. It's not going to be a spark. It's not going to be the honeymoon phase, the entire relationship. Like, this is a process to where you have to like really allow the love to grow and put in the work to do it, especially with a stranger.
Now let me respond to your point right there. I agree about the situation when it comes to the job thing. Yeah. Because a job is such a thing to where she can still work for the company, but she don't have to be doing that per se. Right. So that's something that can be, unless you are in the military, the way you're in a contract, to where it's like, you know what, if you don't want me flying that much, you know what, I'm willing to compromise that. So I'm willing to submit my claim of putting the blame on her for the cabin thing. I'm not submitting my claim about the fizzling out thing, because the fizzling out thing is because especially since you're choosing someone behind the wall and you don't get to see me before, and you actually fizzled out of marriage and relationships when you actually saw the person and chose the person. Yeah. So now, like, the odds are stacked against me because, number one, you don't get to see me before you get to choose me. So I would have dug more deeper. The cabin thing, I'll be like, you know what, Blair, you right there. But the fizzling out thing, she should have pulled out a shovel and dig deep into, like, what makes you fizzle out?
And I agree with you. I think that there were more questions she should have asked. I think she was just very excited about the whole situation. So I think that she was more excited versus trying to get more information. But I also think it doesn't help that Billy was trying to smooth things over that really actually weren't smooth.
Yeah, and you know, and and just as some advice when it comes to marriage, the fizz. Don't depend on fizz, right? like the feelings that I like. You need a working person, a person that's willing to put in the work when they don't feel anything. And more times than not, you don't do things in a marriage or in a relationship based off of feelings. Yeah. You do things based off of the loyalty and the responsibility that I have towards the person that I love and things like that.
It's a commitment.
Exactly. I don't.
It's a commitment born out of love. I think that people get. I think that people lose like track of like what that means when people say marriage is a commitment, because they're just like, well, I want to be in love and I want to this and I want to do that. And I think that yes, all those things are true, but I think that being committed to somebody and doing life with somebody is an expression of love. Yeah. Like a deep expression of love, to be able to say that I'm willing to go through the highs and lows and actually do it with that person. I think that's love in itself.
And the truth of the matter is, when it comes down to things fizzling out, that's not only on the other party, Billy. You get what I'm saying? That have to do with you as well. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't, if I was Ashley, even though I want to be married and I want to be on the show, I would not basically attach my future to someone who uses the excuse of, oh yeah, it just didn't work out. Why? The love just fizzled out. Yeah. Whoa.
Exactly. Like, what does that mean?
Like, what do you mean?
What happened?
No. Not a boyfriend, girlfriend. We talk about a marriage.
Yeah.
A commitment fizzled out.
So we had different work schedules.
What
does that mean?
Like, so that's why I'm like, yeah, like Billy, I saw that coming a mile away. Yeah. I saw it coming a mile away.
So we get to Kisha and Javin.
Yes.
She chose Javin because she had a better connection with him. Okay, we're not going to hammer you over the head with your choice no more.
Number one, do not lie to my wife while she's taking notes. You're lying. Like, do not try to. And of course, she probably saw it, or she probably just felt, the basically the weight of everybody questioning her. We saw you talk to Javin and explain literally what happened. You literally just woke up the next day and chose somebody else.
Pretty much.
Like you don't have to now make it. You don't have to now defend your decision because we actually heard you say that, like, yeah, I said this to D and he may have thought that he was going to be chosen because I kind of told him that he is chosen. Don't worry about it.
And you asked Javin to reassure you and he said it's going to be what it's going to be.
And that to the point where Javin came into the pod saying, I have no proposal ready.
Yeah.
Because it was clear to everybody that you was going to choose D. So, Kisha, you're starting offline. I'm not liking it.
Javin says he was in the experiment for marriage. Now he's lying.
Now
it's a lie off.
Yeah, I'm about to say they have it a lie off.
He enjoyed his time with Kisha, and she can lean on him if she ever needs to.
Why?
Kisha wishes she would have heard that during the process, and we see the clip of Sophie and Javin flirting at the bar.
Yeah.
Kisha was hurt by seeing that.
Of course.
Javin says that he's a jokey guy. He can accept that it was a disrespectful conversation, and he should have stopped when she was making those kind of jokes. I don't know how he pushed it off on Sophie. But then Sophie apologizes to Kisha, which Javin didn't seem to find the words to do. But it looks very flirty, but it was jokey at the time. And then we get to the night of the photo booth, and Sophie confirms that they were arguing. They went into the photo booth to basically not be shouting at each other in front of everybody else.
Stop right there. Why y'all arguing? I wish the host was there. What were y'all arguing about?
I'm like, what is there to argue about? Like, y'all really don't even know each other.
We're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
So what is so important that we have to actually go away from the people to argue? So it doesn't make it like the whole idea of, let's say Megan said, we saw you with Sophie the whole night, and then your response is, I wasn't with her the whole night, and the time that I was with her, we was arguing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's still weird. Like that's still wrong. Like, why? So you're telling me this? Just hear this out, Javin. Right? Instead of actually spending time with Kisha, your fiance, you rather go out the apartment to argue in a photo booth?
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking at you crazy, not because I feel like you was doing something flirty. It's because you would rather do everything and anything besides be open with your fiance, have a good conversation with your fiance, try to get to the altar with your fiance. You rather argue with a stranger in the photo booth. So don't tell me you was ready for marriage if you're willing to argue in a photo booth. I ain't know you in no photo booth.
So Kisha says, put yourself in my position, talking to Sophie, pretty much yelling at Sophie.
Pretty much.
And she said that it was flirty in some elements, but it was very jokey, and then they argued. Javin ends up apologizing to Kisha.
Yeah.
Kisha apologizes for yelling at Sophie because, you know what, Javin was engaged to me, you weren't. And she asked him, why didn't he mention the flirting or the photo booth? And Javin told her, I told you, little things, and I didn't like Sophie and stuff like that. So they end up showing us a picture of the photo booth, and there was no curtain.
It was no curtain. Now, the thing I found it very funny was they said, we got the picture of the photo booth. Automatically, Megan and her husband starting to say, I just want to let you know it was dark that night. And, I may have thought that it was one thing, but no.
And then they talk about it really don't even matter for real.
No. It doesn't. But it matters when you use it as facts to actually, snitch on me.
Yeah.
But my thing about it is the photo booth ain't the reason why the marriage didn't work. Javin, you're the reason why the marriage
there
didn't
was
work.
enough there for the relationship to not work out. But I did think it was weird how they were trying to downplay the situation. I'm just like, just say you were wrong and keep it pushing, you know? So Javin was upset with Megan saying he was with the girls all night. Katisha is still happy that Megan came to talk to her, and Megan still stands by what she says. And Katisha said that Javin wasn't kind or caring towards her to the point that when she watched it back, she really couldn't tell if he even liked her. And he said that he did enjoy being with her even through their difficulties.
Here's my thing about this, right? This is why we're not going to simplify their relationship not working to one night in the photo booth. We're not going to do that. I will say that, hey, if you are going to be someone that is going to snitch, make sure you have facts and make sure all your facts is correct. Because Javin said the only issue I have, Megan, with you is that, like, you presented it one way when that wasn't the truth.
Yeah, you said I was with them all night, but you didn't even see me all night.
And that, and guess what? That's fair. Yeah. Because my thing is, if you're going to step out of your own relationship to blow the whistle on someone else's relationship, you need to be 100% accurate. Yeah. You need to be 100% accurate. But I put the blame on Javin. Because at the end of the day, I understand that, hey, you may not have been with Sophie all night. I understand that you may not have been with, what is the other girl named, Yolanda? All night, or basically Yolanda all night and things of that nature. But the thing that is a fact is that you wasn't with Katisha at all that night. Yeah. Like that's your fiance. So you rather hang out with the girls that are single, Sophie, Yolanda, Anu, and things of that nature, and some of the guys and things like that, instead of actually being with your fiance who's up in the room
and working through your issues. Like, we get it, she was mad that night, but you're engaged, so sit with your partner and have a conversation and work it out. Even if she is avoidant and she doesn't want to come right out and say what her issues are, like, you chose her, and this is someone that you should be doing the work to see if this is a person that you can be with. But he wasn't willing to do the work. A lot of these men weren't willing to do the work.
And she's mad at you for what you did. So it's not like she just mad and then, like, you don't know why. You did not represent yourself well in front of other women while everybody was together, and that's just a fact.
In front of her face as well.
In front of her face. So yeah.
So Anu is feeling good about, you know, being by herself. Things with Patrick just didn't work out. Patrick did send a message. He came into Love Is Blind single and with genuine intentions, and he confirms he is now a father. And this is what I think happened.
Help me.
I think Patrick was just out having a good time living his life, and then somebody ended up pregnant. I honestly think that that's what it is. I can believe that he was single and he came into this to find love, and then at some point he found out he got somebody pregnant. Yeah, I can imagine that to be true.
Listen, I don't think it was something as a deception into where he's like, oh, he knew he had a baby coming. Maybe he was just, you know, sticking and moving, just like you said. But this does not negate the fact with, how do you say her name? Anu. Anu. You're crazy. Like, I'm sorry. I understand that they thought that was cool and that was funny and that's a moment that we can go.
I was embarrassed
with the whole, like, you're a liar and things of that nature, because you wanted, I don't know what he lied about, but he didn't choose you and you wasn't on the show. So I don't even understand why you even giving him that much energy, truth be told, because he did not choose you. So
you just look pressed.
Exactly. So
and asking him if he was going to check it up on you and he didn't call you for what? Y'all not together.
Exactly. So he what did he lie about per se to you? Like, he was very upfront with you about he just feels like I'm not choosing you. Yeah. You're not going to be on the show. So even though you may feel like you made a moment, the moment was very cringy, and hopefully you work through that. You get what I'm saying?
So we move on to Megan and Kieran. They are still together. They live together in London, and they're still just trying to find their flow with living together. Yeah. During the pods, Kieran wanted to show that he was into Megan, so that's why he gave that gift. Yeah. And Sophie is happy for them, wishes them well, and she did some self-development, watching herself back. She is also in therapy, and she is working on rebuilding a relationship with her mom. We learned that Megan didn't really want a gamer at first, but she sees it's not exactly what she expected, and he really only does it when she's out of the house, and he does have a passion for gaming for career and fun.
Listen, somebody had to get married, I guess. Sophie, I guess some good came out of you seeing yourself.
I wouldn't believe it till I see it, honestly.
And truth be told, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to this reunion, on this cast, on this season of Love Is Blind UK season 2?
I enjoyed the season. Yeah. I think that I wish there would have been more successful couples at the end of it. We did get to see Jasmine and her guy, I forget his name, and she's pregnant now. So I thought that was pretty cool because her mom was, her mom was a piece of work.
A hellion.
Exactly. But I'm glad that they were able to work through their issues. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not about anybody being perfect. It's not about anybody having it all together or, you know, having all the tools necessarily to have like the perfect relationship, but it's really about people who are willing to work through and overcome things together. And so I was really happy to see Jasmine and her guy together, especially dealing with that mama. And then to see Nicole and Benaya sit still together, I really felt like they clicked and they were like a really good match for each other. And we know that she kind of chose somebody else at first and that guy was like a butthole, so it was nice to see them in successful relationships. You know, moving on.
If I want the people to gather closer to the screen, please. A lot of you watched season 1 of Love is Blind UK. Right? And y'all heard me say that Nicole and Benaya wasn't going to work.
Benaya,
whatever the boy name is, right? Y'all heard me say that it wasn't going to work. And not only was I wrong the first time about them saying no at the altar, I even doubled down at the end of last season and said, I'm going to make a video when they break up, basically saying I told you so.
I don't know why you was hating so bad.
It's been a year and I've been waiting to make that video. Y'all realize no video came out because they still been together. It got to a point where I stopped checking on them because they started doing things together. Now when I actually saw them at the reunion, it brought back how wrong I was, not only one time, but 2 times. So here's what I'm going to say. Triple or nothing. They're going to break up next year, okay? Anything else?
That's all I got.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all next season.
Bye.